What's up, everybody? Hello and welcome to Bible Corner Reviews. Today's video is a comparison between 6 different Bibles and which one of them I think makes the best preaching Bible. That is a very popular topic, it seems like, in many circles. What is the best preaching Bible? What's the best Bible in general? I don't think there's number one Bible that fits every need, but I do think it is helpful to see just comparisons of the different types of Bibles and different styles of layouts to help someone perhaps figure out what they like best in a Bible for a different purpose. So this one is specifically focused on preaching. So for those of you who don't know, I am a Bible college student. I am finishing up a bachelor's degree, and I recently, in the last 6 months, did a class on homiletics, which is preaching. And I was able to do 6 different sermons in that class, and being the nerd that I am with Bible reviews, I used a different Bible for each sermon so that way I could compare which ones I liked best. The features that I wanted to review in each Bible were, first off, the single or double column. So I have a stack of single column and a stack of double column. The other thing was size, so a full-size Bible or a compact Bible. So I have, with 6 classes, I was not able to have an equal number of each. So I have 2 compacts and 4 full-size Bibles. The other thing was verse by verse and paragraph format. And again, with the only 6 classes, I wasn't able to have an equal number. So the compacts are paragraph style, and then I have a verse by verse and paragraph format in the full-size Bibles. So those are the things that I'm looking for and the different types of Bibles that I will be reviewing. So let's get into it, and I will look at each one and give my thoughts on the features. First up is the ESV Preaching Bible, Verse by Verse edition from Crossway. This one was specifically designed for preaching, so we will see what those features are. First off, it's a little bit bigger. It's on the larger end of Bibles just in weight, so if you're someone who likes to hold your Bible while you're preaching, it could potentially get a little bit tiring after a while. I did find that because that's something I like to do, is hold my Bible, so that's something to consider. The layout makes up for any of that, in my opinion. I really love single column, and especially when you're teaching or giving messages or just doing a Bible study, verse by verse is very helpful, especially if you enjoy single column, because it can be difficult to locate your passages. This is a 9.75 type, so it's on a larger end, and it makes it really easy to find your place. Another thing is that the wide margins were designed to help you. You can add notes, but for me, who's not so much a note taker, this just makes it very open, and it was very, very nice to use because it's not cluttered, and there's a lot of room in the margins and the gutters, so there's no clutter. This one would compare to something like the Steadfast handy size Bibles. They have that in the Legacy Standard and New American Standard, and they also have the Lockman single column or side column reference is very similar to this as well. So there are a couple different Bibles out there that have this layout. If you're a single column fan, definitely one that I recommend, and I had no qualms about using it. Only critique maybe would be the size. It is a little bit bigger, but if you preach from a pulpit or a lectern, there's no problem with that. Here we have the ESV Legacy. This is the Heirloom edition, so the goatskin. This one is a single column, and it is a paragraph format. It is not verse by verse. Honestly, this is one of my favorite Bibles of all time, but for preaching, I was not expecting it to do very great on my ranking, and it proved to be so. This is a 9-point text size, paragraph format, subject headings are in the margin, and the verse numbers are extremely small. So when it comes to a preaching Bible, in my mind, this is a little bit difficult because looking up passages, it's a little bit harder to find the verse numbers, and then this is mainly just a block of text. But, however, there are a lot of people that I've seen that really love this Bible for preaching, and one way that I can see that happening is if you use this Bible all the time, you know where passages are, you know where verses are, you know how to locate things. And so if this is your regular Bible, then there's really no problem teaching. Obviously, there's no one-fits-all Bible. This one, for me, did not meet enough happy spots for me to like it too much. But I do enjoy this one 100% for reading, because I do love just sitting down and reading the text. So the subject headings in the margin make that very nice, because it's almost just like a reader's Bible, and you can look up stuff if you want to. Something this might be comparable to is the CSB single column wide margin. Again, I think that one has the subject headings in the text. They also, Crossway has a preaching Bible that was the precursor to the verse by verse, that was paragraph format and with the subject headings in the text, but basically the same layout as this. So again, you can kind of see where that comes from, but overall, I don't care too much for the paragraph style single columns as a preaching Bible. Another one that might be similar is the New King James single column reference Bible. It's a little bit easier because it's more compact, but it's narrower, so there are less lines per column, and so it might be a little bit easier to find your place. Other than that, this is not my favorite preaching Bible of the ones that I tried. Moving into the double column larger Bibles, this one is the CSB Verse by Verse wide margin. Came out, I think, a couple years ago now, and it's honestly another preaching Bible in that category, such as the ESV Verse by Verse. It's just kind of designed as a preaching Bible, in my opinion. So opening it up, it is a little bit larger in the block size, but weight and thickness, it's quite small, honestly, so it's not very heavy at all. It is obviously a larger Bible, but this one I didn't have any problem holding it in my hands compared to the Verse by Verse ESV. This is a 10-point type. It is easy to read. Verses are very easy to locate with the verse by verse layout. Verse numbers in this one are red, so you have a little bit of contrast, which does help again with finding your verses. The double column, obviously no issues in length for reading, and the paper is, I think, a 36 GSM or so it's a much heavier paper than some of your thin line Bibles, and so it's very easy to turn. Overall, there's nothing I can complain about with this Bible for preaching. It is a bigger Bible, so if you don't like bigger Bibles, that could be a complaint. But the verse by verse, 100% thumbs up for me. And the paragraph, or the double column, makes it super easy to find your place. No complaints. And honestly, this is a great way to go if you are a CSB fan, obviously. Here we have the ESV Quintel from Schuyler Bibles. Had to throw in some Schuylers in here just because that's what I like to do. This one is a double column paragraph format. It is, again, the larger text block size. And opening it up, this is technically a large print Bible. This is an 11-point font, and it does read very large. And most videos you'll see on this Bible, most people compare it to a large print Bible. But overall, it's justified text, very easy to read, and surprisingly to me, from a teaching point of view, the paragraph style was not much different than a verse by verse for finding your place. I was a little bit surprised by that because I hadn't really thought about it in a teaching perspective before when reading paragraph styled double column Bibles, but in all honesty, it was very easy to find my place. Obviously, in these types, the poetic settings are verse by verse, so you do get a little bit of verse by verse in there. Let's see. Paper on this one is 28 GSM, so it's a little bit thinner. So as a comparison with Bibles that have thicker paper, yes, it is a slight bit more, not difficult to turn, but you have this feeling that potentially you could bend pages a little bit more. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. but they're easy to turn, and these ones are a premium Bible, so that it's coated paper, a little bit easier to turn. So if you don't have a premium edition, might not be as much. Another one that you compare to this is the ESV Large Print Bible. That's a 12-point, basically the same size Bible, but it's non-premium, and the paper in that one's honestly very good too. So overall, just this style and size, again, very easy to use. This is not super heavy, easy to hold. The large print in this case, excellent for visual aid. And just overall, I'm kind of neutral on this one in a sense, just because I would use it 100% if this is what I had to use. Would I pick it over something else? Maybe, depends on the day, but there's no complaints I have in using this as a preaching Bible. It's very overall well designed for that. Here we have the ESV Personal size Bible. This is going to the more compact. I would continue with the personal size because these are not true compact Bibles, but this one is a single column. So opening this up, I believe this is an 8-point type, 8.5, 8 to 9, probably 8. Single column paragraph format, subject headings within the text. This is a Bible that I liked more than the ESV Legacy, so the full-size paragraph format, partly because it's a narrower block, so there's less words per line, so it's easier to find your place. It still can get a little bit cluttered because of just the layout and all of that. Verse numbers, again, are a bit small here, but you can find them. And then this is a black letter text as well. The other thing with this particular Bible is, even though it is an heirloom, the paper is very thin. It's probably only a 28 GSM, and it's not coated or anything like that. It's a little bit difficult to turn. So something that would be comparable to this one is the CSB single column compact Bible. I don't own one of those, but I've seen a lot of reviews and pictures of that. So that would be something to compare. Also, this one has sort of been updated to the ESV Heritage, which I believe had wider line spacing. From what I've seen, again, I don't own one, but from what I've seen, that would make a better option if you want to have a more compact single column paragraph Bible for teaching. That one just has a little bit better room on the page, and it looks a little bit nicer. It's a tiny bit bigger, but I think that one would be better in this case. This one's not bad. Again, if you like to hold your Bible, perfect. And if you're a single column that wants a small Bible, there's not very many verse by verse personal size Bibles out there. So this might be, or something like it, your best bet. Last, but surprisingly not least, we have the New American Standard Personal Size Quintel from Schuyler Bibles. This one was not high on my expectation list of Bibles that I would like from the 6 that I used. It is a smaller Bible, smaller print, double column, paragraph format. However, I really found that I love to hold my Bible when I am either teaching or, in the case of this class, a preaching setting, even though that's not my vocation, that I like to hold the Bible. So the larger ones, yes, I really enjoyed. I do love the larger print, most definitely. But I just really fell in love with using this Bible as a teaching Bible. So very light, held in the hands. This one does have references. The Quintel series has cross-references. You won't necessarily have to have that for teaching. Double column, this is like an 8.25, reads closer to an 8.5, I would say. Very easy to read despite the small size. But because you can hold it very easily, it's movable, so you can bring it up closer to your face if you need to. So text size wasn't too bad in my opinion. Bible size, again, very great. Easy to find your place, same as the full-size Quintel. Overall quality in this thing is fantastic, as with most Schuyler Bibles. Again, you can find more smaller Bibles like this, potentially, that are not premium, but this is what I had, so I had to use it. Despite my preferences for single column and verse by verse in that case, this was a very surprising one to me. I enjoyed using it the most, and same 28 GSM paper, but with the smaller Bible that kind of translates as more conducive for its purposes. You don't feel like you're turning thin paper with this because the Bible is so small. Proportionally, it makes sense. So, of the 6 Bibles that I used, the personal size Quintel was my favorite, but I would be very happy to hear what all of you guys have as your favorite Bible. So there you have it, 6 different Bibles for preaching. Turns out I liked the personal size Quintel, which is a personal double column paragraph format Bible. I wasn't expecting that, but it was a lot of fun using all of these different Bibles and kind of seeing what turned out to be features that I liked. And so hopefully this video was helpful, and maybe you found something that was inspiring for you to use or try out, or just confirmed some suspicions you had about some of the different layouts. So thank you for watching, and I will post videos for each of these Bibles, which I do not have reviews on yet, but as I do, I will add them to the description so that if there is one that you liked, you can look it up and see my thoughts on that particular Bible. Once again, thanks for watching, and have a great rest of whatever time of day you are in.